Good evening, everybody. and welcome to the Tcsrl Touring Car Sim Racing Championship League. I said about a million things all at once, but there we go. I'm your commentator, that's me, I'm Andy Pauly. I will be here for the duration of tonight's races from the Suzuka race track. There's the information for you. This is a 3.6 mile track. It's absolutely long. It's got 18 turns. It's in a figure of 8. It's a classic track, which means that runoff is very, very little, and you absolutely trounce it in the wall. You are a goner. So, there's a lot to play for. Track temperature remains at always at around 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 68 degrees Fahrenheit on track temperature as well, and 4.83 miles. It really doesn't make that much of a difference in a race room. As it comes through, there is an update coming that might change it. Right. Let's get the information up as it stands. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, as it stands at the moment, there is no change from last week, because last week we were meant to be running at Silverstone. The qualifying session was absolutely biblical in terms, as Nick Papadim nearly puts it on 2 wheels. As he goes through, he's got a habit of doing that. So there's no update to the championship. Ballast remains unchanged as well. So Gregor is currently on at 94 points. He's leading the championship with 70 kilograms of ballast. Shaw's User is second at 77 points, 63 kilograms. Bojan in the Honda, 69 points on 56. T-Joke in the little Peugeot. That's Fabio Gill, if you're interested. That's the 96 that he's running at the moment. He's fourth on 64 points, 49 kilograms on board. Bras Butcher, P5, 61, 42 kilograms. Stu Neal is P6 with 59 points and 35 kilograms. Jean Petrus, P7, 52. He's got 28 kilograms plus the 30 additional kilograms added because he's got success ballast on top, plus LEBA, late entry ballast allocation. LEBA is applied. So he's running around actually with 58 kilograms on board. Poddy Flack isn't racing, he's on holiday, but he's in P8. So you Poddy Flack fans at home, unfortunately, he is not racing tonight. Fiolos, I don't know if the Fiolos crowd are in yet. I haven't checked yet. He's in P9, 41 points on 14 kilograms. Nick Papadim, P10, 40.7 kilograms. Then you've got Benny Norton, Fabio Gill, Alves, Craig Deeks, Mona, Opalik, Prieto, Bullen, Edwards, Ralastias, South, Smith and Ward, and that's the drivers as they stand at the moment. Top 3 in the Pro Championship, so it is split between Pro and Am. Pro at the top currently is Gregor on 89 points. He is in at the moment. He's currently fastest by 200ths of a second. Shaw is second on 78, and Bojan is third in 71. In terms of the AM Championship, you've got Manuel Alves. Alves, we'll call him Manuel. He's 85 points. We've got Ralliestas at 76 points and Carl Smith at 64, but I don't think Carl Smith is racing tonight. So Carl Smith, I believe, is going to lose a whole host of points. I think Carl Smith's on holiday. He might be. Kirby's on holiday as well. So that's going to hurt his championship points as well. 11 minutes to go at the Suzuka track. It's going to be interesting to see where they go. Right, Carl Smith, there he is. Carl Smith currently third in the AM Championship. I believe Carl is on holiday. Carl used to run around in the DHL yellow Audi. He now runs in the Compu Audi. Still an Audi, but not the best colour. Sorry, Carl. You should go back to the yellow one. I like the yellow one, but there we go. Right, big surprise out last time. Where is George? So last time out we had... There he is. Is he in the pits? Yeah, he's still sat in the pits. So at the moment the board is changing. So Gregor is fastest on a 2:11.912. But what we don't know, ballast on board that car, championship maximum ballast of 70 kilograms on board. What we don't know at this time is how much fuel they're running. Are they doing... Because what we tend to find is a lot of the drivers, as we watch Simon Ashbourne go through, what we tend to find is a lot of the drivers in these opening practice sessions tend to run with certain amounts on board. They'll be practicing for their longer runs and possibly the flying laps. Now, a lot of the drivers have all parked themselves in the pits at the moment. Andy Foster's back. Nice to see Andy Foster back. He's back racing with us. Oh, no, I tell a lie. Carl Smith is in there. So, Carl Smith is racing with us tonight. So, he's on here and racing. Right, who is going to go first? So, keep an eye on Auto Direct. We'll see Ojan's gone, Pascal, Jean-Petre. They're all going to have to go in. Now, if it is a 2:11 lap, it is an open qualifying, which means, at best, Fagpack Maths coming up here, they will get about 3 flying laps, realistically, because they're going to have to find space and they're going to have to warm the tyres up. So do I think it's going to be a 2:11? No, I don't. I think there's a 2:09 on the board here. Let's get up the timing sheets. Right, so they're all progressing now. So bar Fabio, Carl, Rodrigo, Portugal, Andy and George, they're all not on track. No, they are. They're all progressing on track. Papadim is still in the pits, though. There's only 3 drivers currently not out at the moment. Now, Gregor, let's keep him on board, see how he does first. Just ahead of that looks like Ashbourne. It is. So Simon Ashbourne, car 5. So Ojan is the first car in the queue at the moment. So keep an eye on Ojan, or Opalik. We'll just call him Opalik from now on. You can fire at me in the comments section for getting all the names wrong as it progresses. So they're going to have to be building up tyre temperature here as he comes through the figure. This is the back end of the circuit up to the hairpin. So he's going to have to think about here, are they going to be able to progress this? Is he's going to punching a hole in the wall for somebody else? I think he is. This is the problem he's got at the moment, is that as he comes up into R32, is that I just don't think 130R, sorry, I just don't think he's going to be in the prime time position as we ride on board now. And it's just a full fast left here. And if there's a car behind you, you could gain 1 to 2 tenths of a second through that section. So is he going to be there? Is he going to be able to do this? I don't think he is. He was top five in practice session, but he's got to convert this now. We don't know the fuel loads. We do not know what they're riding on board with. We do not know who will be top of the tree. Will Gregor be top of the tree? Let's see what Opalik can do from here. Now, George is still in the pits. He's come out. There he is. Fastest last time out was denied the opportunity because, unfortunately, of the poor server that was happening because of the updates. Through the left right hander we go. This is crucial. This can make or break the lap. The smaller front wheel drive, they're all front wheel drive basically, but the smaller wheelbase cars here do tend to suffer from this change of direction. The longer wheelbase cars really get the grunt down, but where the smaller cars really come into fruition is this middle sector, those long left corners where you don't want that weight transfer. As he comes down the gearbox now into third, flings it to the right. You take too much curb there, you'll put it on its roof. We see Nick Papadim's done that before. Through the right hander, Michael Clough's done it as well, crosses the first timing scale. 54.708. He's purple in that sector because he's the only one in that sector. Anybody going faster? No, he is fastest at the moment. Only driver in the 54s. Only driver in the 54.708. We will ride on board now. See how he does through the long right hander. He's going. All coming up on the board. Anybody faster? No. Still fastest in this sector. Still purple. Through the left-hander he goes. Needs to be very patient here on the throttle. Too much go-go juice and he'll put himself into the kitty litter. Ticks that perfectly. Now he's going to build up the speed, and this is all about how brave he wants to be as he comes through 130R. Does he lift? Does he keep his foot planted? Some drivers are flat out here because of the confidence they can carry. Nobody's faster than him in that sector at the moment. First driver in Sector 2, 48.586 for Sector 2. Nobody else coming up on the board faster. This could be on for, at the moment, it's looking at as a 2:11.1. That's what the board is showing. Can Opalik here convert that? Will he get himself provisional pole position? That's a guarantee, but can he keep it through the first wave of drivers' crosses? A 2:12. He lost a lot of time in that sector. Board should be 2:11. He's done a 2:12. Schulz Euster, last sector, 48.644. Improvements for Manuel and Alex Ward in those sectors, but nothing heroic. Right. Gregor currently leading the championship. I believe that's Simon Ashbourne just above him. It is. And riding from the rear ring now, Simon Ashbourne. So Gregor is going to try to get as much of a toe as he can as he darts out for the line. 2/10 up in Sector 1. Crosses the line. Does he go provisional pole position? Yes, he does with a 2:11.905. But crucially, it's not the fastest lap on the board as it stands at the moment. There's Rodrigo Portugal in the Lincoln Co. Great looking car. Love that car. Say it every time. As far as I'm concerned, he's won. The end of it. Crosses the line is green in Sector 1, green in Sector 2. Will improve but won't really do anything on the board. Gets himself from 11th to 9th. Pushes Ashbourne and Luck down into 11th. Lucas down to 11th. Really not doing anything. Yeah, they're all holding station now. What's Manuel doing? He's got a little Honda all over his rear chops there. Currently in 7th at the moment. 4/10 up in Sector 1. Opalik is going faster. He's purpled. He's lost the sector. He'd purpled the sector and then he'd lost it. Boki's going a bit faster as well. So he's done a personal best, but he's lost the sectors. He's run off track somewhere. Simon Ashbourne's going a bit faster. So is Carl Smith. He's only in this sector though, so there's a couple of improvements on the board, but nothing really showing up. How's Alex Ward doing? So Alex Ward, great driver in the Honda. Seen him race in the Next Gen Racing Series, but his issue he gets is sometimes he gets the brown mist and he loses it. So he's just got to keep it on the track now. He needs to put that banker in. Currently in 8th position. Anybody else improving on the board? No, there's a couple improvements. Russ Edwards has just put himself into 5th position. Butcher's gone into 5th, pushed Russ down to 6th. What can Alex do? Can he improve? Goes to 9th. Not much of an improvement. Boki's going a bit faster. He's 4/10 up. If he keeps this up, he'll go top 3. Jean Petra's completed his first flying lap. Got himself into 2nd. Trebek goes into 5th. But again, they're going to be straight back in the pits, refueling up, and they're going. What can Lucas do here if he can keep this pace up? He should see an improvement up to 14th. Last time out, he was at the back of the grid. He's now at 14th. He is improving. Rodrigo Portugal, 1.65 seconds down as we come through the final couple of sectors at the moment. Through the right-hander we go. Anybody going fastest? Ralesis is improving. Smith is improving. Smith is in 18th. Rallis is in 19th. We'll see how they get on in a moment. Portugal gets himself 2.6. No improvement. Stays 15th. Needs to sort that final sector out. Needs to find that final sector out if he wants to put himself anywhere. Jean Petra, we'll keep an eye on him. The board is coming up that he's on schedule to go a little bit faster. His personal best on a 54.927, but yeah, he's not fastest. He's just not fastest in that sector. As it stands at the moment. So unless he can be impressive in the 2nd sector, but his best was a 48.586, he's nearly a 10th down in that sector 2. Yeah, 48.543, 48.457. So unless he can get himself a better up, and Gregor has just gone personal best in sector 1 by 1/10th of a second, and makes no difference. But Gregor has always been fast in races 1 and 2. He's carrying maximum ballast on board. The question is, can he convert this now? Because it's one thing to get the pole position. It's going to be another thing to hold this with 5 minutes 55 remaining of this qualifying session. We'll keep an eye on Gregor, see what he can do in sector 2. He's looking at 48.5457. is what he needs. He just holds it and holds it and holds it and holds it, and then he's just got to go full flat out all the way to the end. Tyres now will be up to temperature. Couple improvements down the board. Bill Campion, Derek Neal and Craig Deeks have now put times in and improvements. The middle of the board is fairly as is. Through the left-hander we go. He's actually lifted off there. He could have gone a bit, could have been a bit more audacious there, and I think he's lost the sector. Yeah, he's lost the sector. Shaw's Houston, not really picked up on him. He's sector 1, green in sector 1, green in sector 2. Question is, can he convert this now? He's a 197 off fastest lap. Can he get himself onto first row of the grid for provisional second position? It's a really tall order there through the last final couple of sectors, corners, if he's going to be able to get any more improvements. That's the problem he's got. Ballast on board. He's not that far away. Crosses the line. Improves into second by 0.2 of a second. But Gregor had a lovely toe. Carl Smith is improving 1.4 seconds now. He's 2.7. Down in 20th position at the moment. Can he get himself up into middle of the table? Crosses the line. 2.12. Only good enough for 19th. He lost a lot of time in that final sector. There's Boki. 55.42 in first sector. But now this is interesting as they're all going to settle down for a bit. We'll keep an eye on the board as it happens. Gregor has just gone faster in sector 1. So 54.554, a 48 and a 28.8. So there is potential for a 2:11. Yes, there's a potential here for a 2:11.8. So interestingly, the top 3 drivers at the moment, none of them hold the fastest time in any sector. Gregor has just gone through sector 1 purple, but he has to complete the lap in able to claim that as the fastest sector time. 48.438 is what the fastest sector 2 time is. Now he needs to cross the line. What can he do here? 48. Yeah, he's gone faster. So he hasn't got the fastest time in sector 2. It's a 48.53, but he's maintained the gap in sector 1 that he gained. So as long as he has a good sector 3, he will be able to extend his provisional pole position into possibly the 2:11.9s. But he's got to punch that hole in the air. He's got to use every single bit of track to get himself across the line. What does he do? 2:11. There it is, 2:11.9. I don't think there's going to be an improvement on that. T-Joke at the moment, 0.9 of a second up. He's 13th in the Peugeot. Nick Papadim, early pace setter, in 6th. Also in the Peugeot. What can he do here? He's on 0.9 of a second. If he can maintain that gap, he'll get himself into 8th or 9th position. He's about to cross the line now, and he gets an improvement to 13th. He lost all his time in the final sector. He lost all his time in that final sector. At the moment, Shaw's user is out on a flying lap. Gregor, I think, he's abandoned it because on a 2:07, unless he's not going to be able to get out, do a lap and get back. So unless this man here can suddenly find, or somebody else find themselves some supreme speed, it looks like Gregor is going to take another pole position. Question is, can he convert it? Because that race pace, he won't be able to maintain that 0.3 of a second advantage through the entirety of the race. That's going to really, really hurt him. Stu Neal there in 7th at the moment, 0.3 of a second up in sector 1. We've got a yellow off in all sectors. All sectors now clear. Stu Neal, he's abandoned the lap. So Stu Neal's brought the yellows out. Where's Nick Papadim? He's currently down in 6th as it stands at the moment. There's 29th. There's Bojan, 0.4 of a second up. He's currently in 8th position. What can he do in that sector? Yeah, the theoretical fastest lap. Yeah, there was faster. There was faster to be had. The best sector, there was faster to be had as we close down now. And unless they're on a lap, they're not going to be going anywhere. And I think this is going to be it, if I'm honest. I don't think we're going to be able to really push this past this with 51 seconds remaining. What can Bojan do? 0.4 of a second up. Can he maintain that final sector? Gets himself to 6th position. Again, he lost a 10th of a second. They're all losing it in that final sector. At the moment, Simon Ashbourne rejoining the championship again in 28th. In the 23rd, in 28th at the moment for Team Hardley. What can he do as it stands at the moment? I don't think he's going to do anything. Papadim, T-Joke, Bullen, Ashbourne, Campion and Ondrata, Fabio, are not going any faster. So there is confirmation of your provisional qualifying results. Gregor from Shaw's, second row is Pascal from Opelec, third row is Trebek. Didn't really cover Trebek. He did like one lap and just done. Bojan, Papadim, Neil, Manuel, George, expecting a lot from him in 10th. We'll keep an eye on that. T-Joke, Butcher, Edwards, Ward, Boki, Bullen, Lucas, Deeks, Fabio Gill in 19th, Smith in 20th, Portugal in 21st. George is in 22nd, Ashbourne is 23rd, Campion is 24th, Neil is 25th. And then right at the back, unclassified, was 2 other drivers. So that's how it stacks up for your qualifying for race 1. Now, if you are new to the TCRS Championship, that's the wrong button, that's the right button. We are racing at Suzuka. This is the first of 3 races of the evening. I am your commentator. That's me, Andy Pawley. I had hair then. I also had a beard. I've still got a beard, but I used to have hair as it stands. And I will be here for the longevity of the evening. It's 3 races. Race 1 is coming up. It is a 15-minute race, and it's all based off their qualifying positions. Race 2 is starting positions are based off the finishing positions of race 1. No ballast change. Race 3 is reverse grid, and that will be determined by myself between races 1 and 2 on the lucky wheel, which is done live on stream. So the drivers will now get themselves out of the garage already and lobbied up. Here we go. No sim nonsense this week out. It looks like we are going to be absolutely on it. Wait for the driver's lights to go out. Top left of your corner. Hold on to your horses, and it's lights out. And away we go. And who has had the perfect start coming out into that first corner? They're all sort of sorting themselves out at the moment. Gregor has had the perfect start. So has Shaw's and Opelic and Bojan. And there's Trebek in the middle at the moment. T-Joke in the middle of the pack. Well, there's contact. There's contact already. But I think they're just trying to avoid each other. They're all sorting themselves out in that middle pack as they go side by side, 2 by 2. Butcher's right in the thick of it. There is Russ Edwards. He's trying to muscle his way into a position straight behind T-Joke in the number 7. Fabio Gill, slow down penalty already. That's going to hurt him. But at the moment, there is Edwards. He is in that Honda, absolutely nose to tail, riding from the rear camera now with Russ Edwards in 11th behind him. That's Alex Ward and Russ Butcher, absolutely nose to tail as we ride on board now from Boki. Absolutely rear-ended the car in front, but he got away with it. It's caused no harm, no damage. Retic all over again. Trebek is on the back of Bojan. We'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds. That is the battle for 4th and 5th, but we're currently in this mid-battle. Butcher is absolutely, Edwards is absolutely all over it as Bullen is making places as well. He's in the 88 car in the middle. Behind that, you've got Jean Petra has gone miles back at the moment. But there's Fabio Gill alongside Rodrigo Portugal. Through the right hander they go. They've got to have brave pill to do that through here. Absolutely holds on to it at the moment. He's down in 18th position, but he's doing all he needs to do. Behind that, there's Craig Dietz. He's in the Astra. But this is where the Lincoln Co., those 2 high-powered cars, should start to break away. But Craig Dietz is always side by side riding on board with him now. But George is side by side with Stu Neal, or he was. We flipped away, but Stu Neal just couldn't get the job done. It was held on as it stands at the moment. He just doesn't have the brake. He doesn't have the gap. In the background as they're all filing themselves off, Mike Bullen is making an approach as well. Oh, up the inside, the 96. Contact! We'll hit that and have a look post-race. Who was that? That was Jean Petra. That car will be damaged beyond repair. He's all the way down. He's had an accident all by himself, but it is what it is. Did Mike Bullen get away with it? Mike Bullen saw it coming, dived out the way, held on the best he can. 4 wheels pointing in the right direction. He's going to try and force the issue. Whoa, that was a very, very dangerous move there. He just holds on to that position. We'll have a look post-race, but he's letting him pass. I think he's trying to let Fabio Gil pass without losing out to Craig Deeks. So great racing etiquette there from Bullen. Bullen in at that number 88 blue Honda has let the car Fabio Gil back through because he couldn't do that overtake without. So that is very, very good racing. But no movement onto that, moving on as it is. In the background, we've got Carl Smith riding on board now with Carl Smith. Fabio and Jean Petra are both retired, but Mike Bullen is once again right on the back of Fabio Gil. Riding on board now with Fabio Gil. This is the battle into 16. The top 5 have all just holding stations. We'll keep an eye on that. I think they're just holding until they get through. There's 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, nose to tail. Right, Craig Deeks, Deso and Manuel are side by side. It is Peugeot versus Seat as they come through the long right-hander. T-Joke is trying to hold this as best he can, but can he get a run now? I don't think he can. I don't think he's going to be able to do that at the moment. In 10th he goes as Edwards runs wide. Edwards run wide in the number 19 Honda in the background. Whoa, that's pushed Ward wide as well as we ride on board now from Boki. He's all the way down in 13th position. And he's gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining on the 12th position car ahead. But has he got enough guts? Has he got enough legs? No, he hasn't. Is that T-Joke run wide? No, Manuel ran wide out of 130R. He's had to go defensive. Does he go too deep? No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. T-Joke's all over him like a bad rash on a baboon. Here we are riding on board now with Manuel. He's in 9th position. There is 10th and 11th, 12th and 13th. Does T-Joke have the run? Does T-Joke, as he's sniffing the race fuel from that exhaust? He's going to go up the inside here. He has to say he's going to have to brake hard, and I hope Manuel doesn't close the door. He's thought better of it. He just doesn't have the brakes that the Seat has, and that's cost him. Ashbourne is on the side of Carl Smith, is trying to go around Ashbourne, or Ashbourne's trying to go around Carl Smith. One of them's trying to do something, but the question is which one? 2 by 2 still as they go through the S's. Ashbourne is the car on the right, the number 28 Seat. The Audi is Carl Smith. It's Smith versus Ashbourne, and they're still going at it. One of them eventually is going to have to give up the position. It was Carl Smith. He just ran out of road and ran out of talent and hold on to it. Right, Bojan is right on the back here of Opelic. Bojan is the number 29 car in the middle. He is having to defend from Trebek in that Renault Megane, and there's Papadim in the number 70 riding on board now with Trebek. It's so close you can't even see it. Now we're on board with him, on board with Trebek. He's in 5th as Bojan's run wide. No, Opelic has run wide. Opelic has run wide. So we're riding on board now with Opelic. Absolutely doing all he can do here. He's in 3rd position. There is 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th nose to tail. And is that a fast moving Lincoln Co? You all know my views on that car. It's the best looking car on the field. It just is. Now, George was provisional pole sitter at Silverstone, but he couldn't convert it, unfortunately, because of the server issues that we had. But now he's got a point to prove as we ride on board with him now. That's the one I want. He's gaining on Stu Neal. Stu Neal hasn't had this form of late. So the question is, riding now from the rear camera, can George? He just doesn't have the confidence here. George just doesn't have the confidence, as you see Papadim going off to get himself a McFlurry in the number 70, and that's cost him. In the background, Manuel is still defending from Edwards. Craig Deek is right on the back of Mike Bullen. So Craig Deek's there in the Astra, the number 48. There's the 88. That is Mike Bullen. These two have basically been nose to tail for the entirety of the race as it stands at the moment. The question is he going to be able to do anything from this position as they come down the start-finish straight? At the moment, you can see here riding from the rear camera this is Luke all the way down in that position as we now go back to the heli. I like this camera view. It takes a lot of things through that hairpin. Nothing to do there. Back now into the battle. This is the battle all the way for P9. P9. Wow, the chips and change all over the place. Has he made a mistake? Has Manuel in the Seat made that mistake? That's cost him from T-Joke at the moment. Yes, it is. That's allowed Edwards to gain that position. Edwards now up into 10th. What can he do from here? His next target has to be T-Joke, but is T-Joke managing his tyres? Is T-Joke just thinking about the long game here? We don't know. It's 7.5 minutes to go. It's halfway done with nearly halfway left. Absolutely sensational stuff, but at the moment the man who is the roadblock, it's this man here. He's in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th and 13th, all nose to tail. He just doesn't get that drive off the corner. He just hasn't been able to really move it, and the problem is, as we ride on board now with Butcher's closing up to this group as well. Right, George is right onto the back of Stu Neal now. So Stu Neal riding from that rear camera of Stu Neal. He's run wide. That's allowed the number 11, that Lincoln Co, to really close the gap, but he just doesn't have the confidence. He just doesn't have the confidence as he rides up, and that's the problem. George here has the car underneath him. He's got the talent, but what he doesn't have is the confidence in the ability to brake. He's got to stick as best as he can through this corner, and then he's got to try to send Stu Neal a dummy, send him defensive, hug him as he goes through the final 3 corners, as Nick Papadim just goes off the road. What has he done there? He's going to come back now onto the back here of these lost of position, so that's a leapfrog everyone else up. So, but that's unsettled him. It's unsettled him again. Now he's got to go for it. He's got to send Stu Neal wide, and he's got to get a nose in front. At the moment, Stu Neal will cut that corner. He's left him just enough room. He saw it coming. Sensational move there from George on Stu Neal. Up a position he goes. Now he has to hold on to this as best he can, because Stu Neal riding on board now. This is 6th, there's 7th, there's Papadim who was in 6th, then he was 7th, now he's 8th. He's going to be raging in that as it stands at the moment. So George here should get away. Now these two have to work together if they want to catch Trebek. They're 1.9 seconds away from Trebek as it stands at the moment, 1.93. If they're busy fighting each other, they could catch this gap, because on the last lap they were faster than this whole group ahead of them. But the question is, as Bill Campion gets himself a penalty, will anybody attack? Gregor is leading by 1.8 seconds. Shaw's is second. Opalik is third. As it stands at the moment, Trebek just has the better car under him. You just get the feeling here that Opalik in third position is just holding on as best he can. That's 4th and 5th. You can see 6th and 7th. That's George Neal in 6th and 7th, by the way. This is 3rd, 4th and 5th. It is Renault versus Honda versus Seat. 3 different manufacturers. I believe 3 different nationalities as well, but I could be wrong. Someone will correct me on that one as it stands at the moment. But they're all catching Shaws as it holds on. Right, we'll leave that battle and rejoin the Butcher battle. So Butcher is in the number 40 Astra. He's down in 14th position. Ahead of him is Boki and Alex Ward. Now Boki and Butcher, as far as I'm aware, no, Bojan. It was Bojan that tend to have spend a lot of time stuck together like glue. But as it holds off at the moment, he's holding station. He's not really making any progress. Where's Fabio Gill? He's kind of on his own. Butcher is right on the... he's done it. He made a mistake. So just as I cut off him, Boki made a mistake. It's reset all over again with less than 4 minutes to go. For those of you in the chat, I've just seen John Petrus saying he lost all those positions due to no launch control. But Boki's going back for the attack here. He's going to go up the inside of Butcher. This should be a done deal. Butcher has to leave him one car. He's thought better of it. Boki just let him run that one and said, no, I'm not going to go for it. Right. Stu Neal and Trebek. Right, Trebek hasn't given up. Trebek's running in 5th position, riding on board with him now. Ahead of that is 4th and 3rd. It is Honda of Bojan, and Opalik is in 3rd position in the Seat Cupra. So, and there's the other two. So that gap has come down considerably between... No, it hasn't. It's actually gone up because they've all been messing about with each other. Alex Ward is on the back of Manuel again. And it's all starting to kick off now. The question is, he goes up the inside there. Can Ward get ahead of Manuel? Can he do this? I don't think he can. I don't think that's possible as he holds on to that at the moment. Right, these three are nose to tail. Oh, there's a little bit of a touch there. That mistake, that one mistake just cost Bojan a position. It could have cost him the potential of a podium position. Trebek in the number 7. Renaud Megane is now clear of Bojan by 0.3 of a second, but he's got 0.2 of a second to go to the man in front. Can he get a podium? Can he be second best bridesmaids tonight? That's the question he's got, because he now has to attack and defend from the car in front and the car behind. That's what he's got. That's the problem he now has, currently riding around in 4th position. Again, riding on board here from Opelec. He's got to set him up. He has to set him up coming out of a 130R. There's going to be no other way of doing it. Now, that's not excessive weaving because he's not defending realistically. Bill Campion, Derek Neal, both slow down penalties again. What's Bojan doing? Bojan just got the car stopped just in enough time. Andy Foster running around currently in 24th position, doing a solid job. But this is it. This is going to be it. He's going to get this lap, and that is it. If that man there in 4th position doesn't lick the postage stamp and send it, he's going to be going nowhere, and he's going to be stuck in the post office. That's the problem he's going to have, and he's got to do this. So Opelec has gone defensive. He's not going to pass him really through this section unless he makes a mistake. He's run a bit wide. He's run wide. Opelec was run wide, but he's got the inside corner. He now needs to cross the track, close the door shut. Boom, done. First box. First solid defence he's got. He's got a hairpin on 130R. That's the key overtaking opportunities into the for Simon Trebek in 4th position, and that messing about has allowed George all the way down in 6th position to catch up to the back of the field. It is on like Donkey Kong. The question is, who's going to be at the top of the tree here? There is Opelec. He's in 3rd. We're riding on board with him now. Trebek is in the number 7. Renaud Megane. Behind that, Honda. Behind that, Lincoln Co. Behind that is Sayan. And then behind that, there's Nick Papadim. So he's joined. So all the way from 3rd to 8th could get themselves on the podium positions here. As we know, he's got to be careful he doesn't hit the back of him. Second over opportunity taken. Not taken at the moment. Opelec here is on for a solid 3rd result. He's going to be sweating buckets in that car. He'll get through this section with no issues, but it's going to be 130R. That's where the last overtaking opportunity is going to be, because the man in 4th place, he's going to have to hug up the rear end. He's going to have to smell the octane out of that fuel, and he needs to be closer than this. He needs to be closer than this. He needs to gain and gain and gain and gain and gain and gain, and he's getting there. He's doing it. Now he has to hug him as best he can through 130R. Opelec has got in the middle of the track. That's a good defensive move. No excessive swerving. Does he run wide? No, he doesn't. He's kept all 4 wheels pointing in the right direction on the tarmac. The race is done. Greg has won it. Short's for 2nd. We're watching the battle for 3rd. The question is, can he hold on to this now? Can he push this? Mike Bullen's also on the back of Rodrigo Portugal. We'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds. I don't think he's going to do it. I'm pretty sure Opelec is going to hold on to 3rd. Absolutely sensational. Trebek will get 4th. Right, where's Mike Bullen? He's side by side with Portugal. This is the battle for 16th and 17th. At the back of the field, but that Lincoln Co. riding on board now will just pull away. There is no way that Honda has that top end speed of the Lincoln Co. So your race winner, which I didn't even cross the race, I have a habit of doing that, is Gregor, followed by Shores, followed by Opelec, Trebek, Bojan, Jordan Wright, Bill Campion, Andy Foster is still racing. There's Bill Campion. He will cross the line in 23rd. Andy Foster's 24th. And George will cross the board in 25th. We have 2 DNFs. John Petra and Fabio Andrade. Both a DNF. So there is your provisional race results. Gregor drove a superb race. He basically race winner and fastest lap. So Gregor, Yusa, Opelec, Trebek, followed by... I need to actually screenshot this for once in my life. Followed by Trebek, Bojan and Jorg in 6th. Neil, Papadim and T-Joke and Edwards is top 10. Manuel, Alex is in 12th, Butcher's 13th, Boki is 14th, Gill is 15th, Portugal is 16th, Bullen is 70th, Deeks is 18th, Lucas, Ashbourne, Neil, Smith is 22nd, Campion is 23rd, Andy Foster is 24th, George is 25th, John Petra is 26th. and Fabio is 27th. And that's how it stacks up for the end of race 1. Absolutely sensational stuff. Sensational stuff. Now, Jean-Petre is on here. It'd be interesting to see Jean-Petre if to let us know what happened when you tried to hit the brakes and didn't hit the brakes and went forward. I mean, it was very lucky there was no excess damage. But again, well, there was to your car, unfortunately. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he comes on stream and says that. Right, welcome back to the commentary box. I am back. Right, we're going to go across to the streamy wheel. I've actually got to find the wheel. That's the first bit. So if you're new to this, basically it is P9 to P18 will be, I think it's P18. I'm even here, and I don't even know what's going on. It is P18. It is P18. So... 17. I actually have to fill this in, and you'll see it done. This is how we do it we do this live on screen. We'll shuffle that a couple of times. So it is going to be P9 to P18, and that will determine the split grid for race 3. So let's do that now. Let's see who that lucky winner is going to be. We've had a P9. Is it going to be P16? It's P16, which would be Rodrigo Portugal in the Lincoln Co. Best looking car on the grid. I hope he wins it. Only because it's the best looking car on the grid. Fabio Gil will start alongside him. Absolutely sensational. That is going to be very, very interesting to see as it stands. Right, I need to find the next thing, which is over there. So we'll go back to the stream because I have to fill in all the buttons, and then we will go. I think it was P16. Someone's going to come on here and tell me something. Yeah, it's P16. So P16, which will be the reverse grid. Right, that's all sent through. Right, let's go across to see if we've got anybody. There's nobody in the chat at the minute. Okay, so there's nobody in the chat. Let's have a look at what we got on. Do I have the replay analysis? So if you are new to the stream, we do have the ability to look at replays. So there is a couple on here. While that loads up, there's a couple on here I actually want to look at while they reset the server. So there was the one with Jean-Petre. I don't know, he hasn't come on yet. So there was the one with Jean-Petre where it was just really, really odd. Where I didn't think, it's just very odd for Jean-Petre because he makes very few mistakes that I've ever seen following his racing. So I need that one and that one, right. Let's see if this actually works. Sometimes it works. Yes, it does work. But for some reason I've lost the camera, as you'd expect, because it is live. Should we give that a go? No, it's back. So everything's up and running. Even the box over here is correct. Right, so if you're new to this, while they reload and reset the server, we're going to have a quick look at the replay analysis. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through. There's a couple of things I want to look at. Where is it? I think it was this one. So this is the bullet incident. So the reason I wanted to look at this one is the position was reversed at the end. So there'll be no, as far as I could see, there would be no. There we go. Right, loading it all back up. There should really be no further action taken. Is that better? Nope. Like I said, we are a live show. Anybody would think that I do this professionally, which I don't. It's about there. There we go. Right. Right, let's have a quick look. Let's just mute that for a second. Right. So, if Mike hadn't given this position back, I would say this was a penalty all day long. Purely because when he goes to enter the corner, so he's alongside here. Yeah, it's tough. So the reason this is tough is purely because you'd need to see driving position. So we always have to leave a car's width. So And I always use the ruling that he has to be basically at the B pillar. That's what I've always used. So the B pillar is there. Now, you could argue that Mike isn't at that at a corner entry. Now, Fabio goes here and here. Now, Mike is going to go in this gap. You could see that was always going to happen. So, but it looks like he loses the rear end here. There. So at that point there, it almost looks like the rear end has been lost. And then, if we look at this, there we go, you'll notice that Mike then makes contact with Fabio. And that's the issue. Because the minute he makes contact, he has to straighten the wheel, and Fabio then is off. Now, Mike also loses contact as well. So they're both off, basically, by this point. Now, Fabio does an absolutely sensational job of holding that. And for me, because Mike returned the position, for me, it's one of those. It's a nothing thing. Fabio didn't lose any. In fact, Mike actually lost out at the end. He did the right thing. So for me, if Mike hadn't have given that position, it's a tough one. You'd have to look at the wheels. I'd probably have given it to Mike. Fabio could have left a little bit more room, I suspect. But again, we don't have the top-down camera. But the way I read it from that is that it would have been Mike penalty. But because Mike returned the position and he did more harm than good to himself, I'd say nothing in that for me. I think that's one of those nothing incidents that nothing will come of it, to be perfectly honest. So that's how I look at that one. What have we got on this one? I think this is the Papa Dim one. I need to clean this out. Oh, yeah, this is the Jean Petra incident. So this is really weird. Jean Petra hasn't come on because he's going to be getting himself now ready for a good race 2 finish. And he's going to have to get himself pushed up now to the grid because the maximum he can... Well, he's going to be starting at the back of the grid for race 2 and 3. There's no other way about it because race 3 is a reverse grid of race 2, of race 1. So this is his only opportunity now to make progress. So it's now damage limitation. Race 1 is very, very important. And hopefully we'll get a driver in at the end of the night or between the races to discuss that. But this is the Jean Petra incident. Now, for those of you that follow Jean Petra, because I do follow him in other leagues as well, there's Jean Petra. Not seen him in the Honda before, so that's quite unusual for me. He's usually racing in a Seat, so he's in a Honda. So that's unusual for me, straight off. Now, I know the Honda's a tricky animal. Some drivers love it, some drivers hate it. It's a very Marmite car. But he just goes in a straight line. He does attempt to brake. It isn't a case that he's being silly. Oh, I think he attempts to brake. I would say he is, but he's just a passenger. And then there's contact with Butcher. Yeah, that's just... So, unless he's had a sim failure, because he's not even turning the wheels at this point. So he's just going in, if you look, he's just going in a dead straight line. So either something's gone horribly, horribly wrong, which it could have. Maybe you'll come on chat and let us know. Maybe I'll see it in the chats between the races. That's a very, very unusual incident there for... I've just realised that that will probably get me in trouble with the Facebook police. It isn't alcohol. It's a branded fizzy drink. So please don't report me. That's unusual for me. That's a very un-Jean Petra thing. So, did it hinder anybody? No. I don't think it did. Did it really hurt Butcher? Yes, it might have done. Unfortunately, it's one of those, if there is a penalty given, there would be a penalty given for that. It's kind of a no-brainer, unfortunately, for me. What the penalty was, what it would be, I don't know. But... it's an unusual incident, but you have to draw it by the letter of the law, really, basically. So there would be a penalty for me for that. But that's for the stewards to decide. Now, we've only got 1 minute 25 to go before we have... Now, I think this is... Oh no, that was the massive crash at Silverstone. That was last week, so we won't go into that one. I think I had this one as well. This is it. This is Boki. So this is what cost, this single move is what cost Boki, I believe, third. This is what cost Boki third. Again, he just outbrakes himself by, we're talking millimetres here. So that's Boki here. And again, there's nothing in this for me. This is a nothing instant if it was ever submitted. He makes contact. So he thinks he's got the angle, and he just makes contact. He just can't slow the car down. And he makes contact there, that tiny bit of contact, then pushes Opelik forward. So Boki then has to overcorrect with adjustment. And again, I think I think he went in too hot. He forgot he had to use the brakes. Simple error. And yeah, and then basically you just see here. Boki. That's Boki. Just goes that way, basically. Opelik holds onto it. Just. Boki then has to get corrective action. Corrective action. Trebek, nothing in that really. And that's what cost Boki, I believe, third position. A real shame for him, but watch out for Boki in race 2. I think it's going to be something special. Right. Back over to here. There it is. Mike Bullen actually saying, hurt me, watch it on. I've only got that bit. Unfortunately, I didn't get any more. But that's the way I read it. So MB Sim Racing TV, I'd recommend going over and subscribing to his channel as well. It's got some of the old TCRSL stuff on there. And it has some superb long-distance racing. I'd recommend it. That's how I read it, MB Sim Racing TV. I'm not saying I'm right, not saying I'm wrong. I'm just saying from the bit that I looked at, because it looked like the position was returned, I'd give nothing to it, but it is what it is, and we only have one camera angle. Right, if you're just joining us, this is race 2 of the Touring Car Sim Racing League. We are at the Suzuka race circuit. Nothing ever changes. There we go. Right, get ready for race 2. The lights are on. Can Gregor convert this now? A second race victory, or Shores is going to mug him up the line. Can Opelik do this now? And his lights out, and away we go. And has he had the perfect start? That's the question that everybody wants to know, as they all climb themselves up now into that opening corner. Yes, once again he's got it. There's Opelik into third. Has he got it done? Yes, he has. But look at Bojan. He's gone full send. Manages to get the car absolutely held onto the road at the moment. Stu Neal is once again, and he's gone up the inside there of George. A little bit of roughy tufty. Don't think there's anything in that at the moment because it is the opening lap, and as they all squabble to get themselves out, Trebek is out. Trebek is in the wall. So that's gifted Bojan third position. The question now is, can he go after that race victory? We will see. Time will tell. There's Boki. He's down to 9th. Well, he started 9th. He's in 9th. He's up to 10th, Asker. John Petra is making progress. He's currently in 17th position at the moment. Watch out. He should do Derek Neal. Stu Neal's on the back of Opelik. There is George is in 7th at the moment. Papa Dim, this battle is absolutely on it. And once again, our man Opelik is absolutely the cork in the bottle. Papa Dim goes up the inside of Stu Neal. Stu Neal's in the 95. The number 11 behind. That is Georgie. He's holding on to it as well. The question is, can he do anything from here? Stu Neal now becomes the corky in the bottle. Boki's going round the outside of Butcher. That was an audacious move through there. He just manages to hold on to it. Tick that box. George is on the back of Papa Dim. He should get this move done in the next 2 corners. He's gone up the inside. Papa Dim gives him a little nose tap at the front, but it won't do enough to that Lincoln Co. He's just going to drive away. The little number 70 will have the drive coming out of the corners at the start, but the question is he going to be able to hold on to that through 130R? No, he isn't. No, he isn't. He's lost that position all over again. In the background, George is alongside Carl Smith. This is the battle for 19th and 20th as it stands at the moment. Foster has passed Bill Campion. He was serving a slowdown penalty. It's reset all over again. At the front, Stu Neal is absolutely nose to tail. Where are we going? That's where we're going. Trying to find it. One-man camera view. That's what we've got at the moment. And there he is. He's right on the back of this group now. As he's getting faster, he's gaining. He's got Papadim, Stuniel, Opalik here. All nose to tail. Papadim is side by side. A little bit of a contact there, but nothing untoward at the moment for Papadim. That's all. He doesn't need to do anything silly. Stuniel is trying to make progress. Stuniel is the 1-2 second car. That number 55, the blue purpley car, is actually 95. He wants 4 more for a flake. Number 70 behind, that's Papadim behind that. Yep, you've guessed it. That is George in the number 11. Shaw's Usa is on the back of Breger for the lead. We'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds at the moment. Ashbourne, another slowdown penalty. Needs to watch out for those. Craig Deek, this is the battle for 13th, 14th and 15th. There's Bullen at the moment pulling away in 12th. Needs to make progress. Right, he's alongside Papadim. Can George get this done in the number 11? Papadim, does he put on 2 wheels? No, he doesn't. He's got it done. That's what he needs to do. Alex Ward's also retired at the back at the moment. They're all running wide. They're pushing. There's Fabio Gill, 96 in the Lincoln Co, which isn't a Lincoln Co. Right, Edwards down in 16th and 15th. He now just needs to follow Jean Petra through. Jean Petra in the 96. That is Craig Deeks just ahead of him at the moment, riding on board with Portugal. Portugal is in 13th. That's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20th. As you see there, Jean Petra is being attacked now by Russ Edwards. So Russ Edwards in the number 18 Honda, that liquid molly one, is attacking Jean Petra in the 96. But don't forget, Jean Petra has ballast on board. Russ Edwards does not. That's going to be a huge difference. Yeah, he thought better of it there. He's just showed his wheel up the inside. He says, I'm coming. But he thought better of it. And that was what he's really got to think about here, because he can't afford to lose positions, which he's done now. Derek Neal is going alongside George Rallitas here. George is in the 22nd. Derek Neal's in the 34th. This is the battle for 19th and 20th position. This is important for the AM category. They all wanted. There's Craig Deeks. He's don't know what he's doing. He's having a little trip on his own. Probably going to get a Burger King. We'll see when he comes back at the moment. Derek Neal didn't get past George. Resettled again. Butcher's on the back of Boki. This is 8th and 9th. Riding on board now with Butcher. This is 9th position. There is Boki in the 88. These two have been friends ever since the season started. Same with Bojan. So Butcher, Bojan and Boki all seem to end up together at some point in a race. It looks like it's old things have all landed on together. There's so much going on, I can't keep up. There he is. He's in 9th position. Right, we leave that battle and we're going to join the Portugal battle. So this is Jean Petra. He's caught up to the back of Portugal now. Through the S as he goes. There he is, riding on board now with Edwards. Edwards, don't forget, in 15th position. He's gone wide. Jean Petra's gone wide. Butcher, that was going to be an audacious move. He'd have to give that back, which he's done. Ashbourne in the 28. In that Seat Cupra, he's going to be licking his chops. He licked the postage stamp, sent it up. He's not going to get through there. It's just not going to work. He's thought of it. We've got a car off. Who is that? Well, there's a car in the wall, but unless the game's had its own little thing. Right, Papadim. It's one of the front runners. George is off. George has just had an accident. So that's released Papadim. Bojan is in 3rd. Papadim is going up the inside here of Opalik. Opalik has just lost the position. So whatever melee happened, I'm going to have a look at that. I didn't get it on camera, unfortunately. I'm going to have to look post-race, see if I can find it. Absolutely honed that. Fully send into the corner at the moment. So he's got that done. At the moment, there is Manuel on the back of Fabio Gill. Fabio Gill in that Hyundai Elantra, the number 96, 10th position. At the moment, he's going for 9th. He wants a top 9th position. Manuel's really started to progress in the race. There is the fast-moving Edwards behind. They're still at it. Butcher and Boki, these two are still at it as well. So Butcher should be able to put a wheel up the inside. He doesn't take the right line through there, but at the moment, there's Boki riding on board now with Boki. There's Butcher. He's now applying the pressure. He's going for this. Can he go full send? Can he put the postage stamp on it? Is he going to send it? No, he isn't. Mike Bullen is being attacked there by George and Pascal. Pascal's managed to get himself a little bit further ahead. Pascal's up to 13th. This is a recovery drive for him. He needs top 10. He needs top 10 for his championship positions. He's got to get this done. He is faster than the 1, 2, 3, 4 cars ahead, but one thing getting there, it's another thing passing. That's a whole different subject on this racetrack. That's really going to hurt him. This is Russ Butcher back to 8th, 9th. There's Fabio Gill. He's now slowly catching the back of this whole group as well. Right, George is on the back of Bullen. Bullen is a massive cork in this bottle at the moment. George is a little bit wild. He's trying to, he's not going to go through. He's just not going to go through there. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, you're not going to go around that position. So that's now put... Yeah, that's put Bullen off. We will have a look at that post-race. I'd be interested to see how he's done that. Yeah, I think Jean Petra is now in the wall as well, is getting all a bit scruffy here in this middle pack. This is at the method, and unfortunately George's 11th position, I think, was the one that kicked that off. We'll have a look post-race and see what he's done. I did hit that record button. This is the Portugal-Ashbourne battle. These two have been nose to tail for the entirety of the race. Swapping positions more than I've had hot dinners at the moment. So Ashbourne getting his little bit of elbows out there. Nothing wrong with that. Closes the door, gets it done. Job done. Bullen is now attacking the back of Jean Petra, or Jean Petra is re-attacking Bullen. They're all attacking each other, but you're not going to go side by side through 130R. One of them's going to have to give it up, and it was Jean Petra. Much sensible move there. Shaw's won't be catching the front of Gregor purely because he's just had a slowdown penalty. So the battle at the front at the moment is all out. Riding on board now from Ashbourne, he's down in 15th position. There is 16th and 17th. That is Portugal, followed by Deeks and Smith, followed behind by George. He's now joined the party. As you see here from Portugal, Portugal is now the cork in the bottle. Behind that, there's Craig Deeks, there's Carl Smith, there's George. They're all absolutely nose to tail, and Derek Neal is slowly but surely catching the back of them as well. They're side by side. There's Edwards trying to do it. I don't know what George is going to do here, because it's going to be audacious if he thinks he's going to get past at the inside. He isn't. There's contact. You can't go through there at that speed, and he's rejoined. He's rejoined in an unsafe manner. That's a slam dunk if I've ever seen one. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Craig Deek, unsafe rejoin is what it is at the moment. Right, where's Edwards and Bullen? So Bullen's back in the battles again. He's down in 13th position. He's up to 14th actually at the moment, so he's holding on to this. Question is, can he now get past Edwards? It is Honda. He should get past Edwards. Edwards has gone to the beach, and he's come back from the beach. A little bit of sand in his tyres. There goes Portugal. He's decided to go to the beach as well. They're all running off the road. What can Bullen do? He's back to 13th position. There goes Ashbourne into a full crash. He must have had an issue with the car. He has retired the car at the moment. So that's a full retirement with 5 minutes to go. It's all kind of steady now at the front. Shaw's is holding station at 1.2. Bojan is 4.1 off that. Stu Neal's holding station as it stands at the moment. Fabio Gill is attacking the back of Russ Butcher, so he now has joined the back of this pack. He's in 9th position, and he is attacking on Butcher. Ahead of Butcher is Boki in 7th. The battle is on. Riding on board now on the rear camera from Boki, and the problem he's got is that he's going to have to really think about what he wants to do here, because there's only 4 minutes remaining. Now Boki is faster in sectors 1 and 3, but he's not faster in sector 2. That's his problem. That's where Butcher regains all of the time. Fabio Gill is just sitting back and holding station at the moment. He's not really doing anything exciting. He's not really pushing himself. So the question now is, can Boki defend from Butcher? Butcher's not going to go through up there. Andy Foster, slow down penalty at the moment. Foster's all the way back in 20th position. There he is, holding on to that at the moment. He's doing a stellar job. He hasn't been lapped. Remember that, he's not been lapped, so he's still faster than me. This is the battle at the moment for 7th, 8th and 9th. Mike Bullen, retirement. Mike Buller's at a retirement. No idea what that's for. It could be car damage, or I suspect instant points. It'll be one of the two that will go on there. We'll have a look. It is what it is. That's how it is. Fabio Gill's in 9th position in the 96. There he is. Manuel Alves is in 10th. George is in 11th position. But Butcher is still battling on the back of Boki. Shaw's user is making progress, but he's not making enough that he's really going to do anything. It's going to be 2 more laps, not including this one, I don't think. Where's Gregor? There he is. There's our race leader at the moment. Current leading Shaw's Yusa. He hasn't dropped Shaw's this time out. They're pretty much trading lap times. Sector times, they're stuck basically with each other, and they've got nowhere else to go as it stands at the moment. Right, Stu Neal is on the back of Bojan, so Stu Neal is trying to go for his first podium position of the season. The question is, can he do this now? Can he get that first podium position that he's won? He's right on the rear tail here of Bojan. Bojan in the Honda, carrying ballast. Stu Neal, no ballast, a little bit of ballast. Stu Neal, he's been managing those tyres. Can he do this? He can't afford a silly move. Realistically, he just needs to stick to the back of him through 130R, tick that box. Force Bojan to go defensive, which he's done. That will lose the speed. Stu Neal just needs now a much better exit coming through the final 3 corners. There's Papadim, there's Opalik, who was third. This is where Stu Neal has to be right on the rear end of Bojan if he wants to get that position deal, but that Honda is just faster. He's just got the legs coming out that final corner, and that's what's preventing Stu Neal. Slow down penalty. Slow down penalty. So this will be the last lap. So I don't think Stu Neal. So Carl Smith is on the back of Derek Neal. Stu Neal's right up there as well. I don't think he's going to do that. Boki Butcher and Fabio Gill are nose to tail as well. There's Fabio Gill in 9th position. He's holding on to this as much as he can. There he is in 9th. There is 8th and 7th. He's getting closer, but they've just been stuck together. He can't make progress. It's a classic track, which means it's easy to defend that. But if you make a mistake, you lose a whole host of points. That's the problem. Places, not points. Points equal prizes. Places equal points. That's the way it goes. And Butcher at the moment is just... Butcher's the car in the middle. He's the number 40. Fabio Gill is the Hyundai. Absolutely holding on to it. There's Mike's just come on Sim Racing. It'd be interesting, Mike, if you could join the chat between the races, but let me know. We'll rejoin back to this at the moment. So it's 30 seconds to go. The battle is on now. I'll try and keep Gregor keep an eye on him as he crosses the line, but the battle is on between Boki Butcher and Gill. Jorg and Manuel have changed places. They haven't changed places, but they have changed places. No, they haven't. They're side by side. It's 2 by 2. This is the battle for 10th position. Manuel is trying to hold on as much as he can. He's the number 5. The number 11 is Manuel. He wants this. There's George in the number 11. In 11th. There's 11 and 11. The question is, can he sail it? Stu Neal is on the back of Bojan. He's going to get one opportunity going into the final 3 corners. He'll have no other opportunity. This is it. He's break or break. Bojan closes that door solidly shut. I think Bojan here, it's going to be game over for Stu Neal. I think it's done. It is. It's aim over. Right, Gregor actually going to pick up Gregor on the final lap. He takes the double again. This should extend his championship lead, but the gap to Shaw's was a lot closer. Bojan holds on to 3rd for the last of the podium positions. Stu Neal wouldn't be the bridesmaid tonight. He's back on the back tables. He's in 94. Papadim holds on to 5th. Opalik started 3rd into 6th. Fabio Gill in 7th. Boki is in 8th. Butcher's 9th. Manuel is 10th. George is 11th. Pascal is 12th. And there's Edwards doing it for the crowd. George Craig, Portugal, Neek Neal, Smith, Foster Campion Award. DNFs go to Bullen, Ashbourne, Trebek and T-Joke as it stands. What a race. We're just waiting for Alex Ward. They're all finished. There's Bill Campion. Alex Ward is a lap down, so he rejoined. There is... Oh, did he cross the line? So we're going to watch Bill Campion from the Rusty Spanner Racing bring the 99 car home in 20th position. Solid result for him, and he needs the points. He needs the points. If he doesn't get the points don't equal prizes. And Bill crosses the line. Still faster than me. So there is proof again. So race winner goes to George. Fastest lap goes to George. So at the moment, he is 5 for 5. Question is, can he get a race 3 victory and a race 3 fastest lap? So George, User, Boki, Neil, Papadim, Opalik, Gil, Boki, Butcher, Elves, George, Jean Petra, Edwards, Deeks, Portugal, Neil, Smith, Foster's, Campion. George got a 120-second penalty, I suspect, for not slowing down. So Bill Campion promoted to 19th. Alex Ward, Mike Bullen, Ashbourne, and T-Joke are all DNFs. So they get no. Oh, Alex Ward, sorry, 1 lap down. He was 1 lap down, so he did finish down in 21st. Bullen, Ashbourne, Trebek are all DNFs as it stands at the moment. What a race. Lots of talking points in there. Right, we're going to go across to the Discord. We have the Discord in. Because, let's see if we get the Discord feed up. We do. Let's see if I can actually get into the Discord this time, because I have a habit of not being able to do that. I'm in the Discord. That works, which is really, really good. Right, so lots and lots of talking points as always, and I always say that there's always different camera angles to everything because I can only ever see one thing. So I want to talk to Mike Bullen first. We've got Jobber and Mike Bullen in first. Mike, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Nice to have you back. Long time no speak.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it's great to be back. It's been a bit of a long absence, but yeah, great to be here.
So hopefully you'll join us post-race so I can do a bit more talking to you about other things. But I want to talk race 2 specifically. I saw on the chat again, your headphones got caught, and then basically your wheel went south at the same time.
Yeah, so basically I was I think it was on lap 2, and my headphone cable somehow got wrapped around my little finger, and I pulled it out of the PC. And then, so my wife's trying to plug it back in for me while I'm racing, which was fantastic of her, so thank you for that. And then somehow my wheel just went funny going into turn 1, and I went straight into the barriers, and I thought that was probably a good time to stop and reset and just go back ready for race 3.
Yeah, because you'd been making great progress. I mean, it's touring car, so there's inevitable contact. Unfortunately, it's one of those things. But you'd been making great progress, and then you just vanished. So it was a unique situation, unfortunately. So obviously, race 3 is a reverse of race 1, and you just missed out on pole position.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. I'm using this very much as a finding my feet season again after 2 years out of touring cars and not even driving on anything on race room. I'm very much just finding my feet again, enjoying my racing, and look, I finish where I finish, and hopefully next season I can be a bit more competitive. But I've been out of the game for a long time, driving ACC with ABS and traction control and all these other wonderful things, and rear-wheel drive cars. So it's a very different animal. So yeah, I'm just enjoying myself and enjoying being back in it.
That's brilliant. One thing before I go across to Jobber, how is it to not be the only Honda?
Yeah, it looks like the Honda's popular now, whereas when I was driving it was a bit of a black sheep, for want of a better phrase. So, obviously people have realised that I was right. I mean, that's the only way to say it.
So as far as you're concerned, you're like, yeah, I've done that. Brilliant. Fantastic.
A trendsetter, mate, a trendsetter.
That's what you are, because Gregor is fast in that Honda. He's very fast.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never be quite that pace, obviously, but if I can get back towards the back end of the top 10 towards the end of the season, I'll be delighted.
Brilliant. Hopefully you'll join us post-race 3, Mike. Always welcome, as always. Jobber, nice to see you back in, back in the commentary box. How is your races going?
Yeah, not bad. Race 1 was pretty decent. Got up to P10, so I was quite happy with that. I said a top 10 finish would be pretty impressive, but then race 2 we won't talk about
that. Yeah, there was some moments, very, very, I say wild moments there. But again, driving a Honda.
Yep.
So again, car seems to be the car of choice at the moment. Is it a track that you've practiced at? I mean, again, race 2, it seemed to be you're in a big pack there. It was about 4 or 5 cars. And once you're in that pack, you just couldn't really make progress.
Well, in race 1, it was quite nice to be in a pack and have a bit of a fight with people. I enjoyed that. The Honda's quite quick round here. I did practice a little bit, and not as much as I should have done, but you know, it is what it is. But race 2 was a different ball game. I literally went into turn 1 on the outside line. Next thing I know, I'm trying to turn the front end round in the gravel, so it wasn't a fun start to that race. But it was damage limitation, really. I had to just keep going and see where I ended up. I tried to chase it on Petra down a bit, and a couple of times I went for it, but yeah, it was a struggle.
So again, looking forward to race 3, final race 3 now. So you're going to start. So it's reverse grid. So you're actually at the top end of the grid now.
Oh no, I'm the stopping block. I like it.
I mean, are you nervous at all, or is it a case of you're just going to send it and see?
To be honest, I'm gonna try and stick with the big boys, because I think if I can get a P10 finish in this, I'll be quite happy. I don't know exactly where I'm starting.
6.
Oh no,
He's up at 6.
As long as Russ isn't in front of me, I might be all right.
Yeah, unfortunately, I am. So the roadblock is there, I'm afraid.
I'll chase you. It's fine.
So I mean, I think it's going to be really, really exciting to see, especially because I mean, you're going to have some of the. Because in previous weeks, if you've got... I'm just trying to get back into the server. There we go, it's worked now. You know, you're at the top end of the grid, and you're not that far away in terms of, you know, raw speed. And the, like, Shaw's and Gregor, they're stand out at the minute being at the front, but they're all the way back in 16th position. So your aim for race 3 is to maintain the position, or just get a top 10
To be honest, I'll be happy with the top 10. There's a lot of fast boys there that I'm going to have to keep an eye out for, because I don't really want to get in their way. But on the other, I mean, I'm racing for the AMs and they're the pros. I don't really want to get in their way too much, but then I don't want to look like I'm giving up positions just because I have to. I'm doing it because I want to. Like if I'm slower and I can see I'm slower, I'm going to let them through on like the easiest way possible. But on the other hand, I still want to try and get some good points for myself, so I can go on in the AM series and hopefully do better there as well. So
it'll be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see, I think, especially because, again, a lot of Hondas. There's a lot of Hondas this season.
Well, I went for the Honda because I just got to grips with it, and I was going to do the Hyundai i30, but I just couldn't get to grips with it. Then I got in the Civic, and that worked quite well. But I think, yeah, I'm going to try something different for next season, possibly. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, good luck for race 3. We'll see where you finish. That's going to be the big one. I'll go over now to Russ before we go back. Nice to see you back in the combat, Russ. Obviously, organising, doing all the stressful stuff.
Yeah, at least it's gone better this week than last week. So we're doing all right. I
still think there was something wrong with Silverstone. I think Silverstone is the issue.
Possibly. We will try it at the end of the season, and if it fails on the initial try, then we will switch probably to the Grand Prix circuit.
Because there's got to be something wrong with Silverstone. Because I remember from like season 4 or whenever it was we ran there 3, we had the same issues.
3.
So I reckon they've never fixed the game. I think there's still a problem with that race circuit because you never really see it, the international layout on anybody's championships.
No, which is why I wanted to run it, because it is a lovely little circuit. But like you say, if it continues to have issues, then obviously we will have to
change it over,
remove it and change it. Yeah.
Right. Less away from the admin stuff. We can talk about all the good stuff post race. I want to specifically talk about your race 1 and 2 funness, because once again you seem to be stuck with either a Boki or a Bojan, and this week it's Boki.
It's Boki this week, yes. I just haven't got the pace. Haven't got the pace to get around him. The Astra is so slow on the straights. It's even worse with a ballast on. I'm literally having to get right up his bumper out of the rear, out of the last chicane, to stand a chance, especially with the last sort of 2-3 laps. With Fabio Gil getting closer and closer, obviously the Hyundai is mighty down the straight. So yeah, I was having to get as close as possible to Boki in order to get a pull out of the corner. And last lap, I thought I had a really good run on him, so I did try and look for an inside, and I caught his rear bumper and sent him off. So I had to give him the place back. Unfortunately, that meant that Fabio got through as well. But so what could have been a 7th or 8th turned into a 9th. But to be fair, that was more than I was expecting for that second race anyway. So
That is
Yeah.
true, and equally, you don't want the penalty either if it was submitted.
No, that's it.
You know, it's one of
That's
those,
it.
and that'd be interesting if you're, what I've seen so far, especially this week, is I've seen a lot of drivers returning positions, basically undoing any real damage that they would do to themselves.
Yes.
In
Yeah.
terms of
Ideally,
issue penalties.
that's the way I like it, because then I don't have to get involved and start dishing out penalties and things like that to people, because it's not what I want to do. So, like you say, yeah, to hand a position back, maybe lose another position or two because you've handed the position back, is much better than me having to slap a 5-second penalty on, and then you potentially lose 4, 5, 6 places. So, yeah, I'm really happy with that people are doing that. That's great.
And you can see it all the time. So it was, I think it's the right way of doing it, and it really improves the racing as well, because it means that you can go toe to toe, and because mistakes always happen.
Of course they do. And
especially if you look at your battle with the battles that you've got at the moment. If you look at Opelek, I'm really sorry I've butchered his name. In third, there was third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, and then you were catching as well. Boki was catching, and everybody's catching, and it's the jeopardy now is so much more, because I mean Opelek went from third to sixth in the space of 2 corners. So it's so tight up there.
Extremely tight, mate. Yeah, you're right. I mean, literally, I wasn't trying to, at the start of the race, I wasn't trying to pass Boki at all. I was just happy to try and push him as close to the guys ahead of us as we could, so that he'd get the tow, and then in return he'd tow me, because like I say, I didn't have the pace to get past him unless he made a mistake. He made a couple of small ones, but not enough for me to get alongside and actually get past. So I was more than happy to just sort of try and nudge him a bit further forward, catch the guys in front.
Because that's the thing at the moment, which, if we are there on the back, then obviously we'll do it. There's only 1:47 to go, so I'm going to let you go, because obviously you've got to get yourself up, and you do not want to miss it. Hopefully talk to you post-race. Good luck.
No worries, mate. Thank you. I'll speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon. So there we go. In terms of that, we've got one more race to go with 1:34. A couple of comments coming across on the board. I've got a couple of comments on my new device. So we've got some new comments coming across on that as well, which we will cover post-race. We won't have enough time now, so do stick around. Or don't stick around. Wait till I add all the tags in and then do it, because then you can watch it on the toilet in the morning. As it is. A couple of things going through on those, which we'll pick up. Right, so the comment that I had with a minute to go was, who am I predicting for race 3? Ooh, so I've got 58 seconds to decide who I think is going to win race 3. So Portugal is on Fabio Gil, Boki, Butcher. I'd like Boki or Butcher to win it, but my money, if Fabio Gil and Portugal can work together in the first 5 minutes of the race, don't squabble with each other, don't mess about, don't fall off the track, get the tyres into temperature and burn off the fuel, I would put my money on... I'm going to put it on Portugal, because he's driving my favourite car. But either Portugal, I'm going to put it on Portugal. If Fabio Gil overtakes Portugal within the first 2 laps, my money's on Gil. If those two do not break away from Boki, Butcher and Ward by the 5-minute mark, I put my money on Boki. And that's what we are going to say, and that's how we're doing it. That's where we're putting it in terms of the practice race. Right, we're going to go across to the final race of the evening. This is race 3. Of the Tcsrl, the Touring Car Sim Racing League. There's the event info. We are at the Suzuka Grand Prix circuit. This is race 3. It is a reverse grid of race 1. Positions 16 to 1 are reversed. So on the front of the grid is, while they lobby themselves up, in first is Portugal alongside Fabio Gil. Boki is in third with Butcher in fourth. Ward is fifth by Manuel in sixth. Edwards is seventh. T-Joke is eighth. Papadim is ninth. Junior is 10th. George is 11th. Bojan is 12th. Trebek is 13th. Opelek is 14th, Shaw's is 15th, and Gregor is 15th. And that's how it stacks up. So here we go. Let's see what they can do into that opening corner. Watch the front two. They're going to have to get a good start here in order to hold on to this for the final section of the race. And it's lights out, and away we go for the final 15 minutes of race 3. Can he do it? Can Fabio Gil get it into turn 1? This is what we're looking at. This was the predictions. No, he hasn't. He's held on to it. Boki holds on to third. They're all, there goes Pepperdim. Papadim's gone off into the stratosphere. There's more contact ahead as they're all trying to squabble and sort themselves out. They just need to get themselves now into nose tail, nose line. They don't need no heroics. Portugal is leading by Fabio Gil. Butcher has overtaken Boki. That is crucial for Gil and Fabio. They need to sort that out. Gregor is all the way up to 13th already. He was in 16th at the moment, but he's got to get these cars cleared quickly. At the moment, alongside him is Shaw's User. Shaw's User is the man he's battling for the championship. So Shaw's is not going to let him go through easy. Gregor is trying to send it up the inside, trying to help them. There's Trebek in the number 7. What's he done? Bullen's right behind. He's up to 15th, started 17th, 2 places. How can he do from there? There's Jean Petra. He started right at the back, pretty much in last. And now he's up to 15th, so he's 16th, so he's trying to do all he can there. He's so much more confidence on the brakes than Bullen. And Bullen just doesn't have that confidence yet. Fabio Gil at the moment is pushing Portugal for the lead, but these two need to work together. Crest Autosport followed by Trip 6 Motorsport. These two need to start working together because they've got to make progress. And they've got to make progress together because Butcher is getting faster and faster, so they've got to do that. Shaw's is crucially ahead of Gregor. Gregor is in 11th position. Shaw's is in 12th. Manuel, who we're riding on board with him now, is in 11th. Highest position so far was 9th. There he is for the Play Team Racing boys. What can he do? There might be a woman in it or someone who identifies as transgender or non-binary, I don't know, but that's the way it is. There's Manuel. What can he do here? Gregor's on the back of T-Joke. He's gone up the inside of T-Joke. No, he hasn't. He's just held on to that position. But here goes Fabio Gil. Fabio Gil's going to go around the outside of Portugal. This is it. Fabio Gil has got to get this move done. Otherwise, he runs the risk of losing that opportunity to win the race. Has he done it? Yes, he has. Boki is attacking the side of Butcher. Stu Neal's going to attempt to come up for the play as well. Tijo is being attacked by George, and behind that is Bojan. It's all over again. Butcher and Boki are side by side going through the S's. Boki's thought better of that. He had to, because otherwise he could lose out to Stu Neal. But Fabio Gil now has made progress. So my money, like I said, Fabio Gil has to be leading by lap 2 if he wants to win this race. Now he has to get gone. He has to make up over 1.5 seconds as a gap and then maintain it. That's how he's going to win the race. This is the battle into third. There's third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Stu Neal's going for a little move there. He's the number 95. He's absolutely clouted the back of Boki. And Boki's, yeah, that's an accident all by himself. Unfortunately, Stu Neal hit him in the back. Boki returned the favour. Stu Neal's only got himself to blame for that one, unfortunately. Boki has made contact with the side of Alex Ward. We'll have a look at that post-race. That was a little bit naughty for that one. There's Bojan. Bojan's attacking the side of George. Bojan's in 7th position. He's got to make progress. Shaw's User is the cork in the bottle, but Shaw's is Trip 6 Motorsport. Simon Trebek, Trip 6 Motorsport. So I get the feeling here the Trip 6 Motorsport boys are working together to help Shaw's User out, which we've seen time and time again, because Shaw's User here has a real opportunity of taking points away from Gregor, which he needs to do. 1/3 of the way through, Fabio Gil is 7/10 of a second ahead. He needs to be more than that if he's going to win this. He has to be more than that. He needs to get to 1 second. Shaw's User has Gregor right up his rear end. There's Gregor in the 68. There's Trebek riding on board now with Trebek. There is 11th and 10th and the rest of the field basically going left, going right, going left, going right again. A long right-hander. Look how much more power Gregor gets coming off that corner. He's just so much more comfortable in the Honda. He has that ability to hold the speed so much more. There's Boki at the front as well. Boki now has T-Joke right behind him. And the battle for the lead is on as well. Not the lead, but Butcher is right behind Portugal. So Portugal here is going to have to defend. So Butcher could be the surprise winner here if he can clear Portugal. I'm going to have to do my fag pack maths in a minute if this carries on. So Butcher is all over the rear end of Portugal. Nick Papadim is on the back of Alex Ward. This is the battle for 15th and 16th position. In 16th position, Papadim, number 70, the white car. And the car ahead, the Honda Civic, can't miss it, red and black. That is Alex Ward. That is 15th and 16th. These two are nose to tail. They're stuck again. The question is, are they going to be able to convert this? Are they going to be able now to get into a championship winning position? I don't think so, but can he win the race? Don't think that either. So he's got to go top 10. It's his only opportunity. Right, George is on the back of Tito. Can keep an eye on Manuel, Schultz, Gregor and Trebek. There goes Bojan. Bojan makes contact there with George. Lets him go. It's his only opportunity, but what's that done to Opel? It's bundled up the whole amount of cars again. So Gregor is down in 11th now. George Shaw's is up to 8th. So that's what he needs to do. Trebek needs to clear. You're not going to dive bomb up that way, Trebek. It's not going to work. A Bullen holding station in the background there. He's into 13th at the moment. That's what he needs to do. He's just got to get those points. Carl Smith, Papadim and Alex Ward are side by side. Well, actually nose to tail. There he is, riding on board now with Papadim. Ashbourne is alongside Smith. Smith's in the 25. The 22 behind, that's George. As there's a lot of Georges. Can Ashbourne get the job done? Yes, he does. There's Stu Neal recovering from that drive. Gregor's on the back of Opelic. Opelic tries to make contact, and he's just made contact with the wall himself. Very, very scruffy. Right. Butcher is on the back of Portugal. Fabio Gil has done enough. 1.2 seconds now is the gap. That's what he needs now, and he needs to hold it, save fuel and save his tyres now for the last 5 minutes if he wants to win this race. If Butcher, I'm doing some real quick maths here. So Butcher could win this, but Butcher's got to clear Portugal in the next 2 minutes. So if Butcher can clear Portugal in the next 2 minutes, Butcher can win the race. If there's Butcher, the number 40, loses a position, he cannot win it. Fabio Gil is slower in Sector 1, so you'll see, for you Fabio Gil fans at home, he's getting close. He will close up in Sector 1 because the short wheelbase cars have an advantage here. They just do, but the Hondas, the Link and the Hyundai have the advantage in Sectors 2 and 3. And that's where Butcher is just so much faster. He's so much more confidence on the brakes. But he has to clear him. He's running out of time. So the 5 minute mark is what we're looking at here. The 5 minute mark. So you Butcher fans at home, that man there has to clear him in the next 2 minutes by the 5 minute mark. Right. Yeah, they've all going to just push their way through. As soon as I did that, Manuel just... Yeah, he ran wide. Trebek, as that's released Gregor back into 9th position now. So Shaw's and Gregor are absolutely on it at the moment. So they're going to come up to the fast-moving Bojan. Now, Bojan is no easy roadblock. We've seen that at Autodrome Most. We did see a little bit of it post-race in race one, first week out. I wasn't commentating, but I have heard. Right, Butcher's passed Portugal. Well, he's not passed him yet, but he's on it. This is it. 6 minutes 30 to go. He's got to get this move done, but that Lincoln Go just has the legs. A little bit of a squeeze there from the Lincoln Co. and Russell and Butcher. They're all going to mug him. 3 into 1 does not go. Someone's going to lose. That was always going to end that way. And he's going to rejoin. He's rejoined okay, but that was never going to work. That was just never going to work. Does Shaw's Usa get past him as well? Yes, he does. But Shaw's Usa now is attacking Bojan. Boki lost out as well. So Boki's the 88 on the far right. In the middle, that's Bojan, followed by Shaw's. It's just contact all over the place at the moment. There's going to be a lot to digress. I'm glad I'm not the one having to do the clean-up after this one. It's a lot of contact going on at the moment. It's race 3. They've all taken their gloves off at the moment. So the big loser out of that is Shaw's Usa. He's going to lose a whole host of points. Boki is into 5th position at the moment. As it stands, where's Nick Papadim? He's on the back of Manuel Alves at the moment in 12th position. There he is. He's got Papadim right behind him. Ahead of that, that is Portugal. He's in 11th. That was the 3-1. And that's cost him. Butcher is now up to 2nd, so Butcher is the big winner out of all of that. So is T-Joke. So Butcher at the moment. Right, Jean Petra is on the back of Bojan. There is Jean Petra. It's Honda versus Honda. 29 versus 96. The question is, which one of the Hondas is going to be victorious? At the moment, Bojan is holding on to that position all just enough. There he is. There's Bojan riding from that rear camera. He's in 9th position. Ahead of that, that's Jean Petra. He's in 10th. He's doing what he needs to do here. Can he sail it round the inside? Riding on board with him now. Gregor is on the back of Boki for 5th and 6th. Keep an eye on that as it unfolds. Here is Jean Petra through the long left-hander as we climb down the hill, then back up again into 130R. Carl Smith and Stu Neal. This is the battle at the back of the field as it stands at the moment. This is the battle for 19th and 20th position. Right, Jean Petra is near as us, makes no difference on the back of Boki. As we go into the final 4 minutes, so Butcher has got the gap down now to about a second. Gregor now has Boki on his rear end and Simon Trebek in the 7th position. That's one of the Hondas. Is that Opelec? No, that might have been Alex Ward. That's the recovering Alex Ward in the background. So Butcher, so Trebek is going to attempt to get past Boki. Not round the outside, you're not into the turn 1. You're going to have to set him up if you want to get past that. So Butcher, riding on board with Butcher. So Butcher had made progress. Manuel has retired, so has George. So Butcher was up to 2nd. So this is now Fabio Gills to win. So on the last lap, they're both trading sector times. So as it stands at the moment, going back now from the rearing of Mike Bullen, it is Honda versus Honda versus Honda. It's 3 different Hondas, 3 different nationalities, all absolutely nose to tail. Riding on board with Jean Petra, he's in 10th. Boki's on the back of Simon Trebek. No, Trebek has got past Boki. So Trebek has got past Boki. Boki's run wide. As it stands at the moment, Gregor is on the back of George. He's up the inside of George. So it's 2 minutes 40 to go. I don't think T-Joke has got past Butcher. So Butcher has lost that position. Yeah, I think Fabio Gills to win here. T-Joke is going to get his best finishing position this season if he can hold on to that. Where's Gregor? Gregor's into 4th position. As it stands, 2.7 off the lead. The question is, what was his last lap? A 2:13.5, and Fabio Gills got a 2:13.085. I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think Gregor is going to get the best race of the season. I don't think he's going to do the triple. Butcher's on the back of T-Joke at the moment. So it's a 2:15 to go. So this will be the last lap. So Fabio Gil here has done what he needs to do in order to get the race victory. But Butcher will be happy with 3rd. Gregor has George all to play for in the background. The question is he going to be able to do that? This is the battle for 5th and 6th. Bullen is holding on to Boki. Carl Smith is once again attacking the back of Neil. Carl Smith is in 17th. There he is in the 25. Neil is in position 16 in the 95. As it stands at the moment. Right, let's follow the Butcher battle through as it unfolds. This is the last lap of Suzuka. There is nowhere more to go after this. This is the last lap. Fabio Gil, the gap's down to less than a second. As it stands at the moment, it's less than a second between Fabio Gil and T-Joke. Fabio Gil needs to make no mistakes, needs to keep the car on the road at all times. Obak and Papadim are remaining as is, but Boki, Mike Bullen, so the 3 Hondas of Bullen, Bojan and Jean Petra have all caught the back of Boki. The question is, can Boki hold on to this now? 47 seconds to go. This is the last lap. There will be no more laps after this. This will be the end of it. So the question is, can Boki hold on to this? Can he do something from here? At the moment, through the right-hander he goes. Needs to keep it nice and he's run wide. He keeps running wide through there. So does Rodrigo Portugal. Don't forget, Portugal at one point was up into 2nd position. as they're all. Mike Bullen just parks it on the apex, which he's entitled to do. There's nothing wrong with that manoeuvre, so that's allowed Jean-Petre alongside Bojan. So Bojan alongside Jean-Petre. Jean-Petre loses another position. He's just on a recovery drive at the moment. Andy Foster and Derek Neal are side by side. Derek Neal in the number 34. Andy Foster is right next to him. He's in the Honda. Has he lost the position again? Yes, no, yes he has. Andy Foster did all the work and he lost out to Derek Neal again. Fabio Gil is absolutely, he's losing time, hand over fist here. The question is he going to be able to maintain this? T-Joke just needed one more lap. T-Joke is going to go for everything here to do it. Look how close he is, 0.4 of a second. It's going to be a race to the line. Is Fabio Gil going to get the first win of the TCRSL for himself in the Hyundai Elantra? I believe it's the first win in a Hyundai Elantra in 6 seasons. Absolutely magnetic. Fabio Gil takes first, second is T-Joke, third is Russ Butchie. Be happy with that. Gregor, great recovery drive into fourth. Georgie is fifth. Trebek is sixth. He'll be happy with that. Boki is seventh, but I'm sure there's some penalties coming his way, so that's provisional as always. Mike Bullen in eighth. Jean-Petre in ninth. Portugal 10th. Ashbourne, Ward, Opalik, Papadim, Neil Smith. Campion crosses the line in a season best 17th, so he's going to be happy with that. Derek Neal, season best 18th. Andy Foster will come home in 19th, season best. And George will bring the field home in 20th position for the end of race 3. Absolutely sensational stuff as always. Many talking points. As always, Trebek takes fastest lap. Race winner goes to Fabio Gil. And he needed it. Fabio Gil did that perfectly. So there is your provisional race results. Gil, T-Joke, Butcher, Gregor, George, Trebek, Boki, Bullen, Jean-Petre, Portugal, Ashbourne, Ward, Opalik, Papadim, Neil Smith, Campion, Neil Foster, George. Alves, Shaws and Bojan are all DNFs. Shaws, I want to look at that one. That's one of the few that I want to look at. So let's just have a quick look over to the replay analysis while this all sorts itself out. Right. Where is it? Is it this one? I think it's this one. No, so Shaw's in it in that point. Yeah, there's Shaw's. He's in the 53. So I want to look at this because this was a very interesting manoeuvre. Got to wait for them all to load up. They reset them all stuff again. We will go across to the drivers in a minute. But this is what's yeah, this is a. Yeah. So what? So this is. This is one of those half a dozen of everybody, basically, is there's all this space here, basically. And the initial contact from the number 7, which I think is T-Joke. It's just... So the problem with this is Boki is actually holding the line. And then George comes across, because obviously he's going to close the line off. T-Joke comes across as well, because this is how we create this gap here. But I don't think he can see this car here. And so, effectively, the door shuts, and boom, contact. So you'd have to look at the position of the wheels, basically. So if Boki is holding the wheel dead straight, I think in that one they're all this. I'd say they're all equally to blame on that one. Is Boki blameless? Would have to look at the wheels on that one, unfortunately. If his wheel is dead straight, it's not really his fault. It's the other two. Unfortunately, it would be George and T-Joke. Is the way I read that. But yeah, it's a bit scruffy. But again, does Boki hit the brakes? Because if he doesn't, if Boki keeps his foot in it, then yeah, he's to blame because he spun another car, and if he just let off the brakes and the other car crashed, he's on his own basically. But yeah, it is what it is. It might be this one. Let's have a look. Nope. So I don't know where it is. I think I pressed the button. Modern technology. So it is in somewhere. I've done that one. Is it this one? But no, I don't know where it is. So that's the Stu Neal incident. So he basically gets clouted and then runs him off the road. So that's Stu Neal. I can't find the Shaw's one, which is a shame. So I really wanted to see that one. Is it that one? No, it's somewhere. I don't know where it is. It is what it is. I'd have to look at it. I can't comment on it. Something did actually come up on my feed down here. Someone actually sent me a message asking me what my opinion was on that particular incident.
Yeah.
But because I can't see it on the stream, I don't know. From what I saw, I don't know. I couldn't comment on it. It's come up on my chat, which is down here, and I've been asked what do I think. I don't know. I don't have the replay. I don't know. I didn't save it, unfortunately. In terms of the other one with that 3-1 incident, we'd have to look at wheels. So it's one of those, really, I think, in terms of that. So again, another message come across. What do I think? It's somewhere between, it's like I originally said. If Boki moves into the cars, it's his fault. But there is enough space and they're all equally to blame, is the way I look at that. So we need more evidence, but that's how I look at it. Right. That's the end of the 3 races. We go over now with the drivers. We've got Mike Bullen and Russ Butcher back in the race as well. So I'm going to go across to Mr. Bullen first. Nice to have you back, Mike. If you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
He is on his phone. I think he's just on a bit of a delay.
Oh, he's on his delay. So he'll probably catch up in about 3 hours. We'll get to it when he comes back. So when you're ready to go, Mike, just say okay. I'm ready to talk. And
I'm here.
He's back again. Can you hear me?
Sorry. I can. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I was moving from Wi-Fi to mobile signal, so it just dropped off for about 10 seconds.
Did you have to go into another room like at work? You're like, I'll go into another room so I get a phone signal. I was like, I've got a phone signal.
I'm using this opportunity to walk the dog, if I'm honest.
So you've literally finished, walk the dog around the house or walk the dog outside?
Walk the dog outside. That's why I was dropping from Wi-Fi to mobile.
Well, there you go. You can do multitask things. Okay. So, Mike, another good solid result there for race 3. Started 17th and finished in top 12, I think it was. Could be wrong. 8th. Top 12, got there near enough. Good race, actually, for yourself. Very, I thought it was very well driven. Lots of incidents, as traditionally with race 3, unfortunately, does happen. How did you find race 3, from your perspective?
Yeah, from my perspective, it's fine. What I always tried to do in race 3 is what I've always done, which is just keep my nose clean in the first couple of corners and try and avoid the carnage, which I managed to do. A couple of good battles, and I had good pace. I'm still making mistakes, which means I'm losing a second to the car in front, and then I gotta close that gap back down. And so, my braking is the main thing, because with the pedals that I've got, it's not fantastic. So I'm having to sort of adapt how I brake to suit, really. Overall, I'm really happy with that race. Top 10, I'm absolutely delighted with. I kept my nose clean for the most part. A couple of good battles. So yeah, all good.
And so again, coming back into the race room, obviously coming from ACC and all the glorious toys you get with it. Are you still finding you're talking about your brake pedal there? Is that because one thing we did notice is, or one thing I noticed is, you're not as confident on the brakes at the moment as some of the other drivers that we see. Is that again that transition there from ACC, or is it just your equipment?
It's absolutely the transition from ACC. It's a little bit of the equipment. I mean, I've got decent equipment, but it's not the best. I've got a Moser R5 setup, so it's not, it's not pennies, but it's also not the best you can get. But it's mostly the difference in the software. On ACC, you can literally just slam the brake on and you'll make the corner. Whereas on these, if you apply more than 70% of the brake you're locking up and you're going into the kitty litter. So yeah, it is just adjustment basically after 2 years of being able to brake and however I want and having learned and adapted my driving to that, particularly in a rear-wheel drive NSX or RCF. It's just a completely different animal.
So are you finding that transition then between ACC and race room enjoyable, or is it a case of one of those things like you just turn up, you do a bit of practice, turn up, enjoy it, go home, walk the dog, or is it a case of like see how you go this season and then next season go because again you don't want to lose that fun aspect because you're really enjoying it, if I might say so. It seems like you're really enjoying it, and again, is that because there's that less pressure because you're like, well, I'm just going to see how it goes?
A huge element of it is that. I mean, I'm not swapping between the two. I've binned ACC off for now, and I'm just going to concentrate on this. As I said earlier, I've got no aspirations to be a race winner or a champion like I was trying to be before. I'm just here to enjoy myself. So there is that, and of course, I don't have the added pressure and stress of running the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Those new to it may not know that I'm one of the founding members along with yourself. So, way back then when we had all the stress and everything that comes with it, as Russ will contest to, I'm sure. So I can just turn up. I can enjoy my racing. The beauty of race room compared to ACC is it's fixed setups if you choose it to be, which we are. I can turn up. I can do my hours practice. And I'm pretty much up to speed to the point where I can be competitive. And I don't have to spend 9 hours a week practicing, where on ACC, if you don't practice 3 or 4 times a week, you're just not going to get anywhere. So it's about fun and enjoyment.
And also, just before I move on as well, I mean, obviously having been away for 2 years and coming back, the amount of progression in terms of the closeness now that you find in the fields, is that I think this. I mean, I might be wrong in saying, but I'd say this is the first time that there's just so much competitive. There's always a battle somewhere to be had,
and that is, I think, why I'm enjoying it so much is because, the fact that I'm probably one of the bottom 33% of the grid doesn't matter. I've got people who are faster than me trying to overtake me, or as fast as me. I'm catching up to people in front. It's easy to make mistakes in these cars. You always got the chance of a scalp of a bigger driver. So all in all, it just makes it fun. I think you're right. I think the spread of the field, although the spread is quite large in terms of the difference between pole and 27th, but the delta between each car is so small that you're going to have big battles all the way through the field, and that's what makes it exciting to watch and for you to comment.
This is going to be good. It's going to be good. Well, I'll leave you there because I'm going to quickly go. I want to go across to Carl Smith, who's first time in the com box with me. So nice to talk to you, Carl. So first of all, I still wish you were driving the yellow Audi. I'm just going to say that it's the best looking car out there.
Actually, saying that earlier on, yeah.
Yeah, you should still drive the yellow DHL Audi. It's the best looking car out there. It just is. Not the best car. That's the Lincoln Co. I love that car.
Of course.
So I want to progress through your 3 races as well. Is that you've really started to find consistency in speed that I can see in the lap data, because it's one of the few things I have access to. I can actually see lap data. So, are you just finding your feet with the game, or are you just, have you changed anything?
Well, I've been playing Race Room now for a good couple of years. I've done a fair few races with Crest, and I progressed slightly through that, but I never really did put much practice in. Always just sort of like showed up, used a full hour of practice that we got, and then kind of just went from there. I've only had the wheel for about a year as well, and before that I must have spent like 16 to 18 months on the pad, so I spent a lot of time on the pad and then transferring to the wheel. I was quite a bit slower at first, so it was a little bit demoralising. So I had to work through that, and then eventually I was able to match that, and over the time with Crest I was able to improve on that. And the pre this season I've been spending a lot of time with like Russ and Craig and Russ Edwards, just sort of time trialing on some of the tracks. And yeah, I think things have improved. I'm able to get more out of the cars that I'm using. not sort of dabbling with various cars and just opting to stick with one, as opposed to switching all the time and things.
So, I mean, you've really come on now. The other thing I want to talk about specifically in the races, and Georgios, I've probably said his name wrong now. Sorry about that. He's actually jumped on the chat way ahead of what I was going to say. But you two seem to have a lot of battles. Again, you, Georgios, Neil, and there's one more. Hang on, I need my thing. I need my actual stuff. Bill Campion and Andy Foster.
Yeah.
So you group at the minute just seem to be stuck. There's nothing to separate you two. You group of cars.
It's really tight. Yeah. I think it's down to the track as well. Some of us might be suited to some tracks, and some of us maybe not so. On other tracks. So I think we both have we all have qualities in different parts of the track as opposed, from each other. And I think that sort of creates the sort of kind of rubber banding between the leagues and the points and the results and things that we get. And I think it makes it exciting as well, because without that, it'd be quite boring, wouldn't it? So.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, and I think if you're really bad, you commentate. That's what you do. If you're really bad. And I mean, you've progressed, but you're all do you find that you're all progressing together as well? Because, the group that you're with seem to be. You don't seem to. This is going to be really harsh, but when I commentated before, you'd get lapped. Even when I commentated you in Crest, you got lapped. Now you're not getting. None of you are getting lapped unless you bin it. You're not getting lapped anymore.
Yeah, no, just like I say, it's all down to the practice that I've done with Russ and over the years with Crest as well, and maybe just I've focused more on race room itself as well over the last 6 months, and I used to bounce around between race room, ACC, and AMS2. So being able to just have that that one track focus and just concentrate on the TCRs, I think that's helped me improve a lot quicker than what I would normally do if I was still continuing to do all three sims.
Well, you've been doing an absolutely stellar job so far. I mean, bar the fact you should have the yellow Audi. I'm just saying, should be the yellow Audi. I love that car. Looking ahead now to next week, obviously 3 good races, some good battles coming up. But next week is the sprint and the. Russ might correct me if I've got this wrong. I'm pretty sure it's the Donington GP track with the sprint and the feature race, including the pit stop.
National. National with the sprint and sprint and feature.
Okay.
Yeah, on the national circuit.
Nearly there. I'm nearly right. So. Yourself, Carl, are you looking forward to that as something new? Because obviously the feature race actually has a pit stop involved in it. I believe it's a mandatory pit stop.
It is.
Yeah, so pit stops, very 50-50 with myself. It depends if I practice, I suppose. Because the stints have been 15 minutes throughout the season, there's not really been any necessity to practice the pit stop. So I think that's going to have to come into play, before we do this race, and I'm going to have to put some time into that. Donington itself, I love the track. I'm just not the best at it. I tend to struggle with T1 a lot. The approach to that corner I find very difficult, and to get the most out of it as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I enjoy the longer races as well. So I enjoy the strategy that a pit stop involves, and it just makes the race exciting.
So it should be good fun then. Well, all the best for next week. I'm looking forward to it. It should be really. I think it's going to come down to those pit stops and those that have practiced. And I can't remember who it was. I think it was season 2. Someone did a pit stop and forgot to set the button, so they just went in and out and got a penalty. I think they got disqualified.
Yeah, it's easily done now.
So that's going to be interesting to see. Well, good luck, Carl. It was lovely to have you. You are welcome to stick around. Russ, obviously over to yourself. I want to talk to you as well before I obviously sign off for the evening. So I want to talk about race 3 specifically. You could have won that race. Statistically speaking, you could have won that race after you cleared Portugal, and that was before the incident. That was the incident. Before that, you cleared him before the incident. So, had you cooked the tyres by that point? What was going on? Because you got that gap up to less than, I think it was 0.6 of a second. Someone might correct me on here. No, they haven't yet. It would be 0.6 of a second, I think it was, and then you just fell backwards.
No, I was trying to push Rodrigo back onto Fabio. I knew as soon as Fabio cleared Rodrigo, no disrespect to Rodrigo at all, but I knew as soon as Fabio cleared him, Fabio was on the same sort of pace as me, so I knew he'd go, and I couldn't get past Rodrigo. I was stuck behind him for must have been about 4 laps, I think it was.
Yes.
And by that time, Fabio had got about 1.6 second gap. We got it back to 2. And then, like you say, the tyres had started to go off. Des started to come up behind me, and I knew Des was a lot quicker than I was. So I decided to run deep into the hairpin, allow him on the inside, and I thought if anyone's going to catch him, he would catch him.
Yes.
And if we'd have had one more lap, I think he would have won.
He would have won.
He would have got. I wouldn't have won. He'd have got Fabio, and I might have been able to sneak through past Fabio into second. But yeah, I just needed that one more lap. I just needed to. If I could have got past Rodrigo a lap earlier, then the game might have been on. But
it was still. I mean, it's a top 3 finish.
It's still a great result. Yeah,
it's an absolutely great result. And I mean, if you think about it, I mean, in terms of the Astra, it's yourself and Craig and Andy Foster running the Astras.
And Andy's jumped in it. Since round 2. So yeah, there's only 3 of us.
There's only 3 of you in the Astra. You're the highest placed Astra. You know, if you think about it, the way I look at it, and you were consistently faster than Fabio and Portugal Rodriguez, because I think it was a 7 minutes, 7:10. You had to pass him by my really bad math within 2 minutes. You did it in less than a minute, and then it was just that he's getting there, and then it was just like you said, it was the tyres. It's one of those. I mean, top 3 finish is a fantastic result for me.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's brilliant because you started 6th.
Fourth, I think. No, I started 4th. But it's just the pace of the Astra down the straights, unfortunately.
You started behind Boki. That was it. Boki was there.
Yes.
But again, absolutely great result, I think, for yourself. I think it was a solid result. In terms of the 3 races of yourself, I mean, good results for you. I want to look towards to next week as well. So that's the big one. First time in TCRSL history, we're running a sprint race followed by a feature race. Which I think is going to be super exciting, especially with pit stops.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring something a bit different to spice it up. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. A lot of people like to just go racing for 15 minutes, bang the laps out, and that's it, done. It's an idea I've had for a couple of seasons. I did try and push it when the original admin were running it, but there wasn't many takers because people preferred to do just 15 minutes, bish bash bosh, done, that's it. But I just think it brings a different element into a bit of strategy. When you're going to pit, are you going to hold off another lap if the guy behind you dives into the pits, or are you going to dive in first? Are you going to stay out another lap and see which way works better? And I think for one lap for one race a season, one round a season, I just think it brings something different.
Well,
and,
I think
could spice it up a little bit.
I think it's going to be exciting because, for instance, for tonight, for example, if you were stuck behind, if you're in the same position you were tonight in race 3, and you're in the feature race, and the field is very, very, very tightly packed, you go, right, I know I'm faster, I'm going to dive in the pits, get in the clear air, and just start catching up the pack.
That's it, mate. That's the whole idea of it. Yeah.
I think it's going to be exciting in terms of the event. I don't know if you quickly just want to run people through the format in terms of how the qualifying works and that side of it.
So basically, it will run the same as the normal 3 races work. Obviously, we'll have the 15-minute sprint. The reverse grid will be drawn exactly the same, and obviously it'll be based off of the sprint finishing positions. And then that reverse will then become the grid for the feature race. The feature race will be 30 minutes. The pit stop window will open after 10. and it will shut with 10 to go. So you'll have a 20-minute window in the middle where you can serve your pit stop whenever you like it. Obviously, tyre wear is still going to be 2 times, so technically, realistically, it is 2 15-minute sprint races, just bolted together with a pit stop in the middle. But obviously, if you are good at looking after the tyres, or if you prefer to use the tyres more and pit slightly earlier, and then make the tyres last longer with less fuel on board, that's where the intrigue is going to come in, and I think there could be some interesting strategies from people.
I think it's going to be sensational. I really do, especially with the way that the field is so tightly packed. It's going to be interesting to see. I really think it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. So, right, I'm going to leave it there because we are at the 10 o'clock curfew. For the evening. Thank you, all three of you, for coming to join me in the commentary box tonight.
Thank you, Andrew.
All well done. Good luck next week in terms of the feature race and sprint race. That will be super exciting.
Looking forward to it.
Cool.
Cheers.
Thank you, guys.
So as always, like I say, there's always many different camera angles and many different things that happen, which is why we look at it. I will be back for my last commentary with Tcsrl this season next week for the sprint and feature race, which will be really cool. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, while I give my nose an itch, don't forget to join us on the Discord as well. Great bunch. There's an open server that you're open to join if you join the server. You can't race in the league, there is a waiting list, but if you just want to get practice in for Season 7, get yourself involved. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and I will see you same time, same place next week.